Okay, this video is to help with the assignment graphing the cosine function. We need to complete the table for f of x equaling cosine of x. So our top row is all of the x values that we need to find the cosine of. In order to do this, you're going to take the cosine of negative 2 pi. Lucas. Or the cosine of 0 or the cosine of pi. The best place to find these values is using your unit circle. So if you look on your unit circle, now this is similar to the one that you self-created. If you look on the unit circle, there's a lot of information going on here, okay? If you see these values in the middle, okay, those are all the degree measures. Then there's the radian measures, okay? And actually this one right here should have a 2 underneath it. I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, 1 second.
Shh. Lucas, no. 2 over 2. Okay.
Okay.
Pi over 2.
Oh.
Now, these values on the outside, these are the really important pieces. We have these values. There's an x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. Now, the x-coordinate is always the cosine of the angle measurement. That's kind of why they're outside of the circle. And the y value, like this 1/2, is going to be the sine measurement of the angle. So I could say the cosine of 30, is square root of 3 over 2. Or the sine of pi over 6 is 1/2. Now, when you get to like tangent and cotangent, those are a little bit harder because tangent is sine over cosine and cotangent is cosine over sine. So you have to write them out. You have to do the division. You have to make sure you keep it in simplest radical form. No radicals in the denominator. Okay. So let me ask you another one. What is the cosine of 5 pi over 6? Take a minute. Think about it. The cosine of 5 pi over 6 is right here. This value. Okay. Negative square root of 2 over 2. How did I know that? Well, I went to 5 pi over 6, and then I looked at the x-coordinate, and that is the value. You can check this on your calculator. If you type in the cosine of 5 pi over 6, make sure you are in radian mode.
What's this?
You will get a decimal, which, if you check, is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. The reason you can't convert in your calculator is that your calculator can't type in radians. It's just not able to do that. The exact values are always in radians and fractions. Okay, so back to the chart now. We need to do 0. Let's start with that one. Cosine of 0. We're going to go to the table, or I'm sorry, the unit circle. You're going to go to the 0 value, which is right here. Okay, 0. Do you see that? And we are going to look for the x value, the cosine. So the cosine of 0 is, I meant to highlight that, is 1. Sorry about that. It should be 1 right here. Okay? So you can do 0, pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and 2 pi. The negatives are a little bit harder. If you remember back in our notes, the negatives talk about direction change.
Mommy,
a negative...
Mommy, look at
honey,
his
Mama's
face.
doing a video.
Just
I
take
see his face. A negative angle is a change in direction. So if we look at our unit circle, I got rid of all those pi, I got rid of all the square root of 2 over 2s and the 1/2s and the radical 3 over 2s. We really just want to focus on the angles here and then match them up with our other unit circle. Okay, so if I find the position, I can just find cosine or sine by looking at the coordinates. I didn't want to have to copy them all. So 0 is always at the positive x-axis. When it's a positive angle, we move to the right. When it's a negative angle, we move to the left. All right, go paint some more. Go paint some pictures. Paint me some pictures, please.
I don't want to paint.
So, like this angle that I drew here is negative pi over 2, or negative 90 degrees. But you'll notice it's in the location of, if we look on, sorry about that. If we look on here, it's in the same location as 270, okay? Or negative 3 pi over 2. They're in the same location. So their cosine and sine values will be the same. But you just need to make sure that you notice that a negative is in the opposite direction, okay? So it does change some of the values. Again, you can check all of these on your calculator, but to get the exact values, we look and use our unit circle. Now the rest of the document, just a heads up, okay? When you graph two periods, I need you to graph from negative 2 pi to 2 pi. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you, or you can plot the points. Make sure you know what a cosine graph looks like. Make sure the curves are appropriate. I strongly suggest you sketch this by hand. It is very difficult to do on one of the apps. Okay. For all of the description of the properties, you can find most of these in the notes. Okay. Make sure you do a formula for the x-intercepts if there's more than one. Okay, there is only one y-intercept, so make sure you're giving me the y value. The maximum and minimums, make sure you're giving me y values. I don't want to know what their location is, I want to know what the value is, so it's a y value. Domain and range, and period. There is a formula for period if you want to calculate it. But it's the length that it takes to complete one cosine curve, one of that U shape. If you have any questions, please email me, and I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day.